Clint Eastwood was always seen as calm, wise, untouchable, until now. At 95, the Hollywood legend finally let the mask slip, revealing a darker, sharper side than anyone ever imagined. For the first time, he's calling out 6 famous stars who, in his eyes, betrayed him when he needed loyalty the most. They stood with him in success, in fame, in history, and then, he says, they turned their backs. And once you hear their stories, you'll understand why Clint Eastwood never forgave, and never forgot. It begins with Leonardo DiCaprio, the Golden Boy. Their collaboration on J. Edgar in 2010 was supposed to be perfect, Hollywood's calmest director paired with its most intense actor. But insiders say it became a quiet nightmare. DiCaprio arrived with folders of notes, pages of research, even annotated FBI memos, and Clint's patience evaporated almost instantly. Leo delivered an emotional breakdown scene in one flawless take, but insisted on 5 more while Clint silently stepped away from the camera. When shooting wrapped, Clint's silence said everything. From then on, any time DiCaprio's name came up in casting meetings, Clint shut it down. "Great actor," he'd say, "but not my kind." They haven't spoken since. Michael Moore was next, the man who pushed Clint too far. Their tension began in 2005 when Eastwood famously growled on stage, "If Michael Moore ever shows up at my door with a camera, I'll kill him." The room laughed. Clint didn't. Years later, when Moore compared American Sniper to Nazi propaganda, Clint froze him out completely. To Eastwood, mocking soldiers was the ultimate line you don't cross. From that day on, Michael Moore was erased from his world. Then there was Barbra Streisand, the perfectionist who ignited Clint's quiet fury. Their clash began in the 1980s as both shifted into directing. Streisand was known for dozens of takes, absolute control, and deep perfectionism. Clint was the opposite. 2 takes maximum, then move on. He believed too much control killed instinct, and to him, Streisand became the symbol of everything wrong with modern filmmaking. Their silent feud exploded when she dropped out of the bridges of Madison County after years of indecision, and Clint took over, delivered a masterpiece, and earned the acclaim she never got. They've avoided each other ever since. Tommy Lee Jones became another name on Clint's silent blacklist, the alpha Clint couldn't tame. On the set of In the Line of Fire, Jones barked commands, rewrote lines, stayed in character between takes, and powered through scenes even after the director yelled, "Cut!" Clint, who valued calm and efficiency, watched in disbelief. During one intense confrontation scene, Jones kept going long after the scene ended. Clint quietly muttered, "Life's too short for that kind of theater," walked off, and never worked with him again. Richard Burton tested Clint's patience even earlier, the brilliant but self-destructive co-star. On the set of Where Eagles Dare, Burton often arrived late, hungover, and unfocused. Clint, disciplined and ready at dawn, watched his co-star fumble through take after take. The final insult came when Burton dismissed the movie as a paycheck job. Clint found that unforgivable. Years later, he summed up Burton in 4 words, "Talented guy. Wasted talent." And that was the last time he ever spoke of him. And finally, Jean Seberg, the woman who broke Clint's patience entirely. On Paint Your Wagon, she was unpredictable and emotionally fragile, often stopping mid-scene or locking herself in her trailer. Clint stayed calm, focused, and increasingly frustrated. When the film flopped, Seberg publicly blamed Clint's wooden performance. To him, that was betrayal. He never mentioned her again. Even when she died tragically years later, Clint stayed silent, sad, but unmoved. "Some people aren't cut out for the work," he once said. "And I don't need to deal with it twice." So now the question is yours. Was Clint Eastwood right to cut these people out of his life, or did his cold silence go too far? Tell us what you think in the comments below.